It's another beautiful Sunday morning. The sun is saying, can you come out to play? Hey, should have saw it coming, should have caught the warning. But I took a taste.
Hey! It's me, Wanda B! Happy New Year! I am the first show of 2017. Can you believe that? I'm excited. We're here at IntellectualRadio.com and you're listening to He Said, She Said. This is a kind of like a relationship forum, the place where you say, okay, what was he thinking? What was she thinking? And we always think, I don't think like him. I didn't understand what he was saying. So what I like to do is bring to you the female perspective and a male perspective, and on all different topics. And we're going to do this all 2017. I'm so excited. I have so much prepared for you this year. We're going to have a lot of fun. As always, I like to take your conversation to this show. So please always inbox me with things you want me to talk about, because I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to bring on some expert opinions, some intellectual people to feed your brain here on IntellectualRadio.com to help me talk about that. And before I get started, always got to bring up my sponsors. I'm sponsored by Pete's Produce. They have 2 locations on 87th Street, 1411 West 87th Street, and 1543 East 87th Street. Make sure you go there. They'll take it everything you can think of, what you want to eat. They got it healthy. If you're ready to get into the new year, work it out, go there and buy your produce. They have the best produce. And then Morte Cosmetics. And I'm very happy to say I'm wearing Runway Red. Yes, Runway Red. It's my color, my signature color. I want you to get mortified. And what you can do is, if you go to Morty Cosmetics, I'm going to put it up on the Facebook page as well, and put in the discount code WandaB, you're going to get 25% off your order, so you can get Runway Red too. So make sure, I'm going to put that on there. Their number is 800-377-1850 if you want to get Runway Red. And then if you do it right now during the show, you're going to get buy one, get one free. Right. Yeah, so you can get 2 lipsticks for the price of one. I'm wearing Runway Red. Okay, so there we go. And then also, I'm going to present to you a sponsor as well as one of my hosts today. So who I have with me today, representing the he's and the she's, is Inyatu Marvel, who is going to be one of our permanent co-hosts rotating this year, 2017. I'm proud to say thank you, Inyatu, for being a part of the team.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. I love it. This is a great way to start out the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. 2017. It's going to be a great year.
And I have Kimberly Davis, who is the founder and owner, KJ Davis, of Journey to Wholeness Center, located in Oakland, Illinois. I'll let you speak for yourself, Kimberly.
All right. Well, a lot of you may know me if you tune in, but if you don't tune in to Journey to Wholeness Radio Friday at 1 o'clock, I am the host, and I am also the founder and owner of the Journey to Wholeness Center. We are a holistic healing and wellness center located in Oakland, Illinois. I strongly encourage you guys to come out. We're going to be talking about some great new things we're doing in the year 2017. So thank you, Wanda.
Okay, so let's get started. New Year. This is day 1 of the new year. So you know what people do. They say, you know what, I'm going to make a New Year's resolution. I'm going to leave my job. I'm going to get me a new man. I'm going to find that perfect relationship. I'm going to leave him. Or should I leave him? I don't want to start the year like this. You know, all the things we think. I don't know if guys think this. Do guys do this too? Guys make New Year's resolutions?
Absolutely.
What are some? I don't even know. What kind of resolutions do men make? The same?
Yeah, same kind as everybody else. So everybody's on Facebook right now telling themselves that they're going to stop talking to certain people. Everybody's telling themselves they're going to be better with their health, better with their money, you know. Weight. Some people saying, I'm never answering that woman's call again, but they're going to be texting her tomorrow or by Valentine's Day. But some people stick to it. So I'm certainly one of those people who has used the new year as a new launch, a new start. Sometimes you just need something symbolic for that fresh start to help you get out of that comfort zone and make those changes. But me and definitely make New Year's resolutions.
Okay, that's good to know, because I know I know from the female perspective that we do. So I thought, let's talk about that today. The New Year's resolutions, and why do people stay in their comfort zones? Why do people choose to leave? Why we don't even, like you said, some of them by February will have given up on it, or we start this with such good intentions, but then we fall off somewhere down the line. So I like to kind of explore, why does that happen? What are our intentions? Why? One thing that came up a lot today, this weekend, was should I stay in this relationship or should I go? I've heard many conversations about that. So what I looked up was, what are some reasons people stay? And one was the devil we know, the habit forming, that it is a comfort to stay in an uncomfortable. We find comfort in discomfort. We're okay with that. I mean, do you guys feel that way? Do you feel that in y'all too?
Absolutely, that everybody has their comfort zones for different things, and relationships is certainly one of them that many people have. And so we're just afraid, we don't have faith that something out there is better for us. And so we pick what we think may be the lesser of two evils. But I believe people need to really have faith in themselves. And I'm not the most super religious person, but I definitely have a strong relationship with God. And I believe that God wants you to be happy. And Absolutely. So if you don't have negative intentions in your heart, you genuinely want to be happy, but you're in a relationship and you're not finding that happiness, and you are honest enough with yourself to know that it's very unlikely that you're going to find that happiness, then you have to step out on faith and know that there is somebody out there that's right for you. Or even if it's a job, there is another job, career, business opportunity that's out there that's perfect for you, that's just waiting for you to step out of your comfort zone and go to it.
Yeah, and I completely agree. I think the biggest factor that comes into play is exactly what you said, is fear. So because we don't know what's on the other side for us, we don't know if that new great guy is on the other side of that new great job, a lot of times we say, you know what, we try to make excuses and say, well, maybe this relationship isn't too bad. At least I'm in a relationship, at least I have a job. And then we come up with the laundry list of excuses and reasons why we can't make those life changes, versus focusing on the laundry list of reasons that we should. And in doing that, it requires us to really become more intimate with us. So when you talk about what makes you happy, most people don't even know what makes them happy. So they have to start from ground zero and say, you know what, I really need to get intimate with myself and understand what makes me happy and not settle for less. And that's tough. We can all pay lip service to, I'm making these life changes. I'm making these, and they're very surface changes, which is the reason why by February, everybody is back to their old habits and old routines, versus really doing the soul searching that they need to do to define truly what happiness is for them. And then, as you said, walk out on faith to claim it and to make it happen, because it's just not going to happen just because you say, oh, I want to be happy, and then all of a sudden happiness is just going to rain down. That's not going to happen. You have to manifest it, and you have to do things to attract it to you. And the first thing is to get rid of the things that no longer serve you.
Do you think that a lot of times when we make that declaration, do we know how to manifest those things? We think, because I think people really believe that when we say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. They don't think they need to do anything further than just say it. I mean, just say it, and they believe it at the time they're saying it, right? I think they think if I say I'm going to lose 10 pounds they really do feel like they're going to do it.
But it's work. I mean, everything is work.
And
People
that's the work.
say it and you throw it out there. And as I said, everybody thinks it's fairy dust, that it's just going to happen. But nobody wants to put in the work. Nobody wants to have the difficult conversations with that significant other just to be real and say, you know what, I'm not happy in this relationship. You know, nobody wants to do the work and nobody wants to deal with the consequences of doing the work. So they just continue to pretend that they want this big change. And it's a very surface change. It's a very, you're paying lip service to it, but you're just truly not ready to do the work because change is tough. Let's face it.
I think when I looked this up as well, some of the things they said was they also look at the practicalities of making that change. A lot of times that the day-to-day living, it's easier to just keep going as you are, but then they start saying, well, I will make this change once I do this. This needs to change first for me to be able to do this. And they feel it's being practical. Well, I have to find another job before I can get a job or leave this job. So I have to, it's practical for me to stay in this unhappy situation.
It's fear. It's not practicality, it's fear.
Absolutely. I had someone who's a very successful artist share a comparison with me. And he said that life is like football, that God is listening to everything you say. So you and God just huddled up at the beginning of the year and you're like, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to let this relationship go. And I'm going to be able to be with somebody who is really for me, who is conducive to my happiness. I'm going to change my weight. And God hears all of these things. And he's saying, yes, indeed. Okay, let's do it. And so you tell God, I'm going to go to the gym every day this week. And God is like, great. So he has the blessing waiting for you at the gym in 7 days where you said you was going to be. Just like the quarterback says, take 10 paces and then go left and throws the ball right there. Well, if you don't go to the gym for 7 days, God threw the blessing right where you said you were going to be, but you're not where you said you were going to be. So whether it's your relationship, whether it's your career, your job, you know, words are powerful. It's called spelling for a reason. You're casting spells over your life. And God is not here to tell you no, only unless he's going to replace with something even better than what you imagine. And so when you're talking to yourself, that self-talk is so important because God is saying, yes, I'm with you. Indeed. Great. Let's do this. Right. And he's throwing that blessing right where you said you're going to be. Right, and you're not where you said you're going to be. So people just have to have more faith in themselves and more faith, you know. God is not out here to try to punish you. He wants you to succeed. Sometimes you have to go through some challenges for you to be ready for what you're asking for. But trust and believe that God wants you to be as happy as you want you to be, and all you have to do is participate in that and step out of that comfort zone, and you will see some results. Probably not as soon as you want to, but you will see those results.
Absolutely. I tell people all the time, the universe is working for you, not against you. So that's first and foremost. You truly have to believe that. Second thing is when you want to make life changes, you set those intentions, you write them down, you work with them on a daily basis. And as you said, it may not come immediately because it requires time, it requires work. Sometimes it requires unconditioning. Sometimes you're so conditioned to not winning and so conditioned to being unhappy that when you start getting a sense of happiness, you sabotage it and you go back to ground zero. So that's work. That's putting in the work. And that's okay, because once you're back at ground zero, you can reevaluate, go back to those intentions and say, okay, now I'm ready. I'm going to do this again. But a lot of times when a monkey wrench is thrown at us, we just give up. You know, we just give up. Like, you know, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. You get out the relationship, you start dating some lemons, and then you say, you know what, I'm over it. It's not going to work out for me. And then you go back to the same dysfunctional relationship. So that's why it's called work, because first of all, you got to set the intention and you have to work it, and you have to have the faith that it will happen for you no matter what the minor things that are coming up. You know, you deal with it, you move past it, but you stay on that straight and narrow, focusing on your intention. And if your intention is to be happy, you focus on first what it is that makes me happy from within and stop pulling in. Sometimes we think that other people defines our happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just constantly pulling people into our space.
When you say that,
Mm-hmm.
not to cut you off, but I don't think people understand when you say that they're looking for other people to define their happiness. I think that needs to be broken down, because I don't think that, what does that look like?
So what that looks like is the woman who says, I have to have a man to be happy. What that looks like is the man that says, I have to have a woman to be happy, or I have to make 6 figures in order to be happy. So what that looks like is we are always looking for things outside of ourselves to define happiness. And when we don't seek and when we don't obtain those things outside of ourselves, then we're not happy. Everything is attached to something external. So we really don't know what makes us happy, because we've never evaluated that, what really truly inside of me what makes me happy, versus having a significant other, having a job, having a career, having a family. Those are the things that we tie to happiness.
So if we make those decisions to lose weight or get out of a relationship, or we want to find another job, but we don't really know what we're going to, I mean, does that make the process harder because I haven't defined what happiness is, or what?
It absolutely does. Well, that goes back to fear, because we don't know nobody knows what's on the other side. All we know is that we want something different. So that's when fear comes into place, because we talk ourselves out of, we say, well, what if that something different is worse than what I already have? It's never worse. I'm just going to tell you, it is never, ever, ever worse. Because if you have a seed planted in you that you need to change, that is divine order that you need to change. So change. So don't be afraid of what's on the other side. But that's a very real fear. That's a real fear for anybody.
Absolutely.
If you're starting a business, it's a very real fear. Okay, what if my business is not successful?
Right.
Okay, what if people don't like me? What if the products and services I'm offering don't match up with people's needs? What if I go bankrupt? So those are very real fears, but you can't let those fears stop you. Because I'm afraid of these things, I'll just stay in this 9-to-5 job where I'm not happy, where I feel like I'm not contributing enough. I feel like people are not honoring how I feel in the work that I do. So, it's twofold. And that's why life is so tough, because those are very real choices. And we call those conscious choices. What choice, what are you going to choose to do? Are you going to choose to walk out on faith and be happy and live out your true experience? Or are you going to live in fear and be stuck where you're at, be it relationship, job, etc.? So that's where it's difficult. And that's for everybody. Nobody is absolved of having those fears.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. I suggest that people practice being brave. I mean, you really, you don't get good at anything without practice. And so sometimes you're not brave enough to step out on faith on one thing just yet, but you can practice on some smaller things. So me, myself, I was looking to make some big changes in 2017. And so back in October, I shaved my head. I'm uncomfortable being bald head. I love my hair, and I am growing it back this year. But I just wanted to practice being brave. I'm jumping out of the plane as soon as the weather breaks, not because I have this great desire to jump out of the plane, but I want to live my life not from a place of fear. So if I'm just practicing being brave over here and over there, then you can develop that habit, because you've been in the habit of being afraid. That's really the problem, is that, that habit is stronger than your mind, your heart. Your heart is telling you this guy, this woman is not for you. Your mind is telling you, I got to get out of here. But your habit is to text and call this person every day. So you still going with the habit. And so we just have to change our habits. And so, even the tiniest thing is a step in the right direction of practicing being brave and getting out of your comfort zone. And, shout out to my dad. I had a father in my life, and he used to say that, what worked for you from age 1 to 10 is not going to work from 10 to 20. He said, at least every 10 years, you're going to have to reinvent yourself. And so what worked from 10 to 20 is definitely not going to work from 20 to 30. The dynamics are totally different. And then when we get grown, we think, okay, we can settle down. No, it's going to change again from 30 to 40. And so you have to just know and accept that changes are going to have to be made throughout your life. And it's not supposed to be easy. It's just supposed to be worth it. And I promise you that it is. It really is. That you can be happy in every aspect of your life if you only believe that you can and practice being brave and stepping out and doing things that are leading in that direction.
I love that. The idea of practicing being brave. You're listening to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. And I'm here with Inyatu and Kimberly, and we are talking about New Year's resolutions because this is the first day of the year. So this is the day we all have this long laundry list of, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. I'm going to get a new relationship. I want to move. I want a new house. I want to live somewhere different. I want to do, and then fear kicks in and we stay in the same place. And come October, we go back and think of all these things we said we were going to do, and we have this list that is not done. And then we're feeling like failures. We're feeling like, oh, I didn't do this. So we're trying to come up with ways to keep you going down the path, that what you decide you want to do today, that you know how to have some tools to kick those fears, start out being brave, to not let your mind stop you from doing the things that you should be doing. And I want to thank everybody who's watching on Facebook. Hello, hello, hello. And if you want to chime in, please leave it here on the Facebook Live page. You can also call 708-223-8953. Let us know what you think. What's your New Year's resolution? I'd like to hear it. Like, what do you plan on doing? Let's hear about that too. And so as we go on, we talked about some things, and I think you guys brought up a good point about habits, that we form habits and those habits are hard to break. Mm-hmm. So we have to practice breaking the habits. Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned being brave. I love that idea of starting small. Maybe the thing you're thinking of sounds so that you feel like it can't happen because it sounds so big. It sounds so monumental that it can't be accomplished because it's. So what about some baby steps? What do you guys think about that?
Move the furniture around in your living room. You know, move it to this wall. Move the bed and make it face another way. Just small changes in your environment a lot of times create an air of change that help you move forward in other areas. Also, get some new friends. Yeah. Drake made a song, No New Friends. Don't listen to that dude. He doesn't know what he is talking about. Like-minded individuals, people who will, inspire you or push you to go to the next level. Believe it or not, everybody who is in a happy relationship, everybody who is super successful financially or career-wise, they dream of helping somebody else do the same thing. They want to help somebody else do the same thing, but they know that a lot of people aren't willing to do the work. And so they won't just jump out and waste time to help people who aren't serious. But if someone demonstrates to them that they're serious, I've seen and participated and witnessed examples of people, really getting involved in other people's lives just because they showed them that they were serious. And so, change your environment. If your self-talk is bad, let somebody else talk to you. It's free videos on YouTube talking about wealth, talking about prayer, talking about meditation. I mean, we live in the technology age and the information age where if your mind's saying, no, I'm scared, I can't do it. If you're listening to someone else who's saying, yes, you can do it all day in the car instead of listening to the regular songs that you listen on the radio, believe it or not, it will start to imprint on your mind and change those habits and change your self-talk as well. And so it's just a process, but we don't have to be afraid of it. The time is going to go by anyway. Yeah. If you're scared it's going to take you 10 years to do something or 5 years to do something, guess what? The time is going to go by anyway.
You can stay stuck for 5 or 10 years.
You can stay stuck for 5
But you bring up a very, very valid point because a lot of people need help.
Absolutely.
They don't have the tools. They don't have the resources. They're stuck with a lot of negative programming and negative conditioning, either from childhood or from their friends, so-called friends.
Right.
So they're stuck with all of this conditioning that tells them that, change is too hard. They'll never amount to anything. They'll never find a better job. They'll never find a better relationship. So a lot of people need help. So sometimes it's easier when you're coming from a place of being brave, doing one small thing at a time. And I'm coming from a place of doing the same thing, just taking baby steps. Somebody told me years ago that you didn't need to see the entire staircase to take one step. And so, coming from having positive affirmations and going through life challenges and life issues where, you said, okay, I got to dig deeper. So, however, I can honestly say that I learned many tools and many techniques to do that digging, to help me. Nobody, out here is just an island. There are people who have gone through the things that you are going through. There are life coaches, relationship coaches. There are people who have started businesses, who are out there, who can help you and who can guide you. So you don't have to feel like you're alone in this. There are people who can help you emotionally. If you have emotional triggers and emotional blocks because of past traumas and dramas, there are people who can work with you to instill with you more self-confidence. As you said, tapes and videos. I remember going through a period of time where I used to listen to Michael Bernard Beckwith, his life visioning series in my car. And it provided me a lot of motivation, a lot of direction, a lot of guidance. So as soon as you are true to yourself about setting those intentions and opening yourself up to setting those intentions, you'd be surprised at what the universe gives you in terms of help. So there are resources out there for you to do that, to help you do that work and to guide you and to give you the motivation and the tools that you need to get out of that box.
Okay. I love it, love it, love it. Daryl Wallace said, hello, all good topic. I'm finding in myself that being bold enough to do things that make me uncomfortable works for me. I try to do at least one thing that I wouldn't normally do every couple of months. I kind of like that idea. And I kind of try to do that every first of the month. I do a check-in of New Year's. I don't call them New Year's resolutions because I kind of don't like that term, but I just do a check-in of what are my goals for this month? What do I want to do? And I use the first of the month as always a fresh start for me. I never look back. I try to don't look back and say, oh, I didn't finish that. I didn't accomplish it. I start over every month. I give myself a clean slate to start over again and try again. And I love that idea that try doing something you wouldn't normally do. We have to start somewhere. Just talking about how I want to make the change and, oh, I can't do, and you'll always have co-signers for whatever.
God, yes.
You said it, change your circle of friends. Oh yeah, that's so hard to do. Why would you leave that job, that good benefits and the 401k? And why would you leave that? You'll always find
you
that.
have to keep that stuff to yourself.
Yes.
Until you're ready. A lot of times what we do is we look for other people to discourage us subconsciously.
Right.
So we share our ideas with all of these people so we can get all that negative feedback. And then we say, nope, not going to do it. See, I was right. Nobody agreed with me. Everybody said I was crazy. So sometimes you got to keep those things to yourself and really work them from within, because other people they'll send you off big time.
Yes.
Just because of their own fears. And it's not even personal. I tell people this all the time, that a lot of times when you're sharing information and goals and dreams and aspirations with others, and they're not really receiving it, or they're not encouraging you and sometimes discouraging you, that it's not personal. They're speaking from their own fears and being in their own boxes. And it's not even about you.
I think that's a point to remember in most cases in life when you have interactions with other people that don't seem to, you go, why did they do that? That it's not about you. It's their stuff. And if we hold that, we don't let as many things bother us as much. We don't personalize it because what they said wasn't about you. And like you say, limit the feedback we're trying to get, especially if maybe somebody like me, who I'm very hard on myself. So if I hear the negative, I will be the worst one saying to myself, see, you shouldn't do. I am my worst critic. And I know there are probably other people who can beat up on themselves more than anybody could beat up on me. So I think that's all very, very good. You're listening to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com. And I have my friends here for the new year.
Happy New Year.
And we are feeding your brain. We're going to start off the first day of 2017 feeding your brain, because we want to help you keep those New Year's resolutions. We want you to be empowered to how am I going to get it done? Give you some tips, tools to stay true to what you say you want to do, because you can do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're all behind you. We believe you can do it. We know you're going to do it. We want you to know whatever it is, whether it's your job, the relationship, whether it's working on your relationship, the tools to stay where you want to be, however it is, whatever it is, we want to help you out with that. And I want to hear what your New Year's resolutions are. So you can put those on the Facebook page, on Wanda B's page or Wanda Bolter's page, wherever you're looking at it. My crew from He Said, She Said, if you all want to chime in, please do. And to the people watching, I appreciate you all. So, okay, you guys are mentioning, I took some little notes, and I think everything that I wrote down, you all mentioned, is giving yourself a break, changing the people around you, having self-compassion. And then one thing I like to really bring up is making a plan. Absolutely. What is your plan? I mean, if you say you're going to do these things, these are things you want, and you can come up with all these reasons. Well, how do I start doing it? I don't see where I can even start. I don't see how I can move to another state because I still don't have a job. I don't have this. I don't have money coming in. Everything needs to be in place. But if you don't have a plan, where does it start?
I'd love to chime in on that. A lot of times it starts with not necessarily doing something new, but stop it doing some of the old stuff that you were doing. That elevation requires separation. And so we all have to acknowledge, one, it's not just friends. We live in a society that's designed to keep you in your comfort zone, because as long as you're in that comfort zone and you go to that job that you hate, the person who owns that company is going to stay filthy rich. And they need a certain amount of people to stay in their comfort zones and be afraid to leave that job for them to live the life of their dreams. Also, from televisions to movies to music, it's all to some degree by design. So sometimes you have to learn to cut yourself off from the world and cut yourself off from, as Wanda shared earlier, triggers. And a lot of times we don't even realize what those triggers are, that we watch. I used to date somebody some years back, and she used to say, you in the music industry, let's watch Love and Hip Hop together. And in the middle of the night, I would be turning over in my sleep, thinking about how stupid the stuff that people were doing on Love and Hip Hop. And I was like, I can't watch this with you no more. Like, I'm becoming dumber. Every time I watch this, I'm losing brain cells. Like, this is not it. And so many of us, and it's easy to get caught up in this. We care what society thinks. We are worried about being judged. And so we don't even know what happiness feels like. We just think we know what happiness looks like. And so we find ourselves pursuing things and doing things that make us look happy from the outside, when in reality, a lot of times that's not it. And so you really do have to do some soul searching and reassess. I mean, something that used to make you happy 2 years ago, super duper happy, that same thing with no changes, 2-3 years later, won't be contributing anything to your happiness or your growth. And so keep assessing the situation. Start removing small things away from your life to make room. God can't give you something better if you're still holding on to those old things. And so you have to let some things go. You have to let some people go. Sometimes you just have to test the water. What'll happen if I don't talk to people as much for 2 or 3 weeks, a month? This month, I'm going to be more to myself. Or this month, I'm going to read more. I'm going to do something different just for a little while. You don't have to make it this necessarily this big lifetime thing just to start. But don't be afraid to experiment with life is what I would say to people.
Yeah. And those are, and I would say that all of what you mentioned is a precursor to your plan. Because if you don't do those things, then I can guarantee you that you will not be successful at that plan. Because the first thing that you said, Wanda, when you mentioned coming up with a plan, the first thing, I don't have any money, I don't have this, right there already defeats that particular plan. It's when you're sitting there evaluating all the reasons why the plan could fail versus setting your intention. And this is what I suggest people do. For the new year, set at least 3 intentions. Evaluate those intentions by saying, if I had no limitations at all, how would I do these? How would I get through with these? How would I meet those intentions or meet those goals with if I had no limitations, if I didn't have to worry about money, if I didn't have to worry about anything? And write those things down too, because those are the things that you need to do to meet that plan. Because now you've removed all of the self-talk, you've removed all of the perceived limitations, and you remove the fear out of it. And you said, now these are the things that I need to do. These are the people I need to surround myself with. These are the experiences that I need to have to reach that particular goal. And you have to be patient with yourself. A lot of times we set this plan, we set this goal. I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to lose it in 2 months. That is not realistic. A lot of any major life changes that you're trying to do or accomplish is just not going to happen overnight. Because first you have to get rid of the conditioning. First you have to get rid of all the soft stuff.
The Popeye's chicken?
To.
Gotta pick one thing. One thing I'm gonna let go.
One thing.
No more cookies.
And take it day by day and step by step. But we're not patient enough. We want, especially this is a society of instant. We want everything instantly. You know, I want a smaller stomach, I'm gonna get a tummy tuck. I want a bigger booty, I'm gonna get some butt injections. You know, everything is instant gratification. So that's the thing we have to understand, is that true change, true evaluation, and true transformation and true evolution takes time, and it takes work, and it takes passion, and it takes compassion for you. And that's work. It's tough.
It's work. You know what? We have some Facebook people that are chiming in. Thank you. I appreciate you. Nemia Ward, who is also one of the co-hosts, going to be joining us in 2017 as a regular co-host, filling in here and there. And she said, okay, this is her New Year's resolution, which I don't think I can help her with. I'm going to have to call on some people.
Jump right in on that.
When looking to meet new people and dating, where should folks go?
Okay, so what guides my life a lot, and it makes other people not understand, but I understand it perfectly, is energy. Go where the energy is. Go where the good feelings and the smiles are. Sometimes your energy is bad and you need to just be around some other people who have some good energy. And so I saw somebody recommended to me a movie called Yes Man, and it's a Jim Carrey movie, and there's a lot of corniness to it, but the message was very powerful in that he made a covenant with somebody, an agreement to say yes to everything, and there were things that he said yes to that didn't seem like they were going to be the path to bringing him what he wanted, but you never know what things can lead to. And so I'm not saying say yes to everything, but if you want some change, you got to do some different things. And so start accepting some invites and start attending some things that I work with a group called the Millionaires Club, and they teach people how to be successful. And one of their biggest things is 50% of winning is just showing up. That if you're sitting on your couch and you only going to the same job and you only going to that same one bar or even church, you're going to be limited into what you can attract and what new paths and opportunities you can go to. And so I suggest everybody, you want to start the new year off better in January, go to everything anybody invites you to. If you get there and the energy is bad, go home. Don't take a picture for Facebook. Use that outfit for the next use that outfit for the next invite. But you got to open up, you got to broaden your horizons. You have to open the door for opportunity. It doesn't usually fall right there in your living room on the coffee table in front of your couch. You got to go out here in the world. And so I
would suggest focusing on you, focusing on your goals, focusing on your intentions, focusing on the things that, once again, make you happy. Because if you are really opening yourself up to your own personal experiences, the right people in the right places will show up. It's like magic. It just happens when you are investing in you. So sometimes we spend so much time saying, I have to find the right person. I want to go out and meet people. It's all, once again, all about other people. And when you find that you're investing more in yourself, the right people are coming to you. The right experiences are showing up for you. You start working on, let's say that you're interested in doing public speaking and you go, you know what, I'm just going to get into Toastmasters. And you start in some club or some organization, and before you know it, you're meeting all types of wonderful individuals, like-minded individuals, people who you would easily relate to and want to go out on dates with, who share your interests, who share your energy. So, so that's another approach to take, is just really get in tune with you. Begin to travel. If that's your thing or your passion, find out what it is that you're passionate about. And when you're able to receive that and open up to it, you will attract what it is that you want. So that's another approach to take as well.
And I know Miss Nimia, so I know she's going to do that. She's a go-getter.
Yes.
Find new places. Has a lot of passion, so I can definitely see her going all over. So that's maybe even I'll join you, find some nice places to go. So Charles Chambers says, it's important to remember the dreams you have, God gave them to you. He did not give them to anyone else but you, and no one will fight for your dreams like you. The one thing that has been working for me is I have to remember every day to step out on faith into my purpose. And I think we've been talking about that, stepping out on faith into our purpose, knowing what's for us is for us.
But you do it anyway.
Right.
Do it anyway.
You do it anyway.
Shook, but I'm going to do it.
But I'm going to do it anyway.
I'm afraid.
I'm going to do
But
it
I'm gonna do it
anyway.
But I'm going to do it anyway.
I zip line in Vegas off the roof of the Rio Hotel, and they put me up on the thing, and I started cursing them out. Let me back down. I changed my mind. They were just laughing like, no. And I'll probably never get on that thing again, but I'm glad that they have blackmail pictures of me right now today. But I'm glad that I did, because you have to be unafraid to try and to do new things. And also, society and jobs have lulled us to sleep as far as wasting time. I had somebody I respect just tell me, sit and just look at your watch and watch 10 minutes go by. And it was like torture. 10 minutes seemed like 2 days, but that's how much time is in 10 minutes. But a lot of times we get a new job. At first we're afraid, and so we're giving our best. But once we get past that 90 days and we get a little comfortable, we can Facebook and text our friends and do all kind of stuff all day and still get our work done. And then that bleeds into the rest of our lives, where we become professional time wasters. Seriously, we become professional time. I mean, even me. Facebook is the devil.
It's the devil.
That phone, but you can blow 20, 30 minutes, an hour, or even your whole day away doing menial things that mean nothing and aren't contributing to you getting closer to your goals. And so that's another thing. You have to make a list, and you have to ask yourself, what am I doing that's actually moving me towards where I want to be? And anything that isn't, even if you can't see it, is moving you away from where you want to be. If you can't see how it's helping you get there, then trust and believe it's part of what's holding you back. Everything is part of your solution or part of your problem. There is no middle ground.
I love it. You know what? You've been listening to He Said, She Said on IntellectualRadio.com, and we have been talking about our New Year's resolutions, how we're going to get them accomplished, how we stay on target with them, what causes us not to complete them, but we want to make a change. We want to make sure you get through this year getting everything you want and accomplishing that. And so thank you to everybody who's watching on Facebook. I so appreciate you and the people that are chiming in with their opinions and letting us know their New Year's resolutions. And I'm going to give one of mine. It's going to sound really silly, but it came to mind when someone said to post your favorite picture from 2016, and I realized I hate taking pictures. I am so critical of myself that I don't like taking pictures. And if someone said, come get in this picture, I'm probably gonna go the other direction or try not to be in that picture. So when I went through to go through my pictures for 2016, I think I had taken less than 10. that I had really taken a picture of myself. I was like, wow, that really showed me that I really don't do this. So this year I said I'm going to take a picture every day. Now, you all may not see them. I'm not going to say I'm going to publish. You won't be seeing selfies everywhere. I'm not going to go crazy with the selfies every day because that, as you see, is not me. But I'm going to try to come out of my comfort zone and take pictures of myself. I'm going to try. So do you have a New Year's resolution or something you'd like to do this year different? Other than grow your hair back?
Everything. So it's funny because I have to shave my head every day. It's fighting me to stay bald. But I have my son back here with me, and so definitely being a even better father and just helping facilitate his greatness is something that's huge for me. I want to expand my life. I've been blessed to be successful, and sometimes you can limit your thinking. You know, you get excited to make 100,000 in a year, and there's people making that in a minute. And not that it should be all about money, but don't put limitations on yourself. And this is a little off of my New Year's resolution, but I want to share really quick. I read an article on CNN the other day, and it said Obama's credit card got declined. And so when he first ran for a state senator, everybody knows that he lost, and he spent all of his money, and he was dead broke and thinking about not doing politics again. A friend tried to cheer him up and told him to come to the Democratic National Convention, be around other politicians. It'll get your energy up. And when he got there, his credit card got declined for the hotel room, for the rent-a-car. He had his pregnant wife at home. He already had one child, another one on the way, and he was just feeling like my life is over. And then 8 years later, the president of the United States. So wherever you are right now, it ain't as bad as you think it is. And trust and believe, you know, there is greater waiting for you later. And so, I'm not looking to be president of the United States, but I believe that God has blessed me tremendously, and I just want to take all the talents and skills and experiences and wisdom that He's given me and just take it as far as I can possibly take it. And so I'm just trying to take all the ceilings off of myself, all the limitations off myself, and really just dream big in every possible way. And this year I'm going to get in a relationship and give it my 200%, which if anybody knows, that's a huge out of my comfort zone for me. But I know that it's that time that the right person is going to help unlock my highest self. And so those are some of my New Year's resolutions.
And Kimberly, I'm going to ask you to speak on Journey to Wholeness Center and some of the things that can help us keep our goals this year. And I know, I mean, I'm a true believer and the club president, or what they say. I'm the client. I'm the biggest client of Journey to Wholeness Center. I love the place. I love the energy. And when we talked about energy, finding a place that can help you through the energy. And sometimes we don't know where to start. So tell us how we can start a Journey to Wholeness Center.
So as I said before, Journey to Wholeness Center, we're a holistic healing and wellness center. And as I said before on this show, the thing about it is most people, not most, all of us need help. I consider myself a person who is very intellectual, but very open-minded to experiences. And I have gone through various periods in my life where I have needed help, where I didn't even know where to begin. So it may sound simplistic when I say, okay, just go within and find your happiness. But I needed help in doing that, as I'm sure a lot of you all need help in doing that, because you don't even know where to begin, because we're so conditioned to wanting what the outside world has for us, to listening to what the outside world tells us about ourselves, that we believe that stuff. So it requires a lot of unconditioning. And sometimes you don't even realize you're stuck. You just say, I'm just living my life. I'm just, I just go to work. I just pay the bills. I'm in a rut, but this is life. So you really think that this is what life has to offer. So at the Journey to Wholeness Center, what we try to do is empower people with the tools and the techniques, the things that they need to empower themselves, because it really is all about you. You can't give to others what you have not amassed within yourself. So what we're doing in January, we're implementing personal assessments. Because as I said before, a lot of times people will come to us and they have one, they'll do one service. They'll do a energy healing service, or they'll do a meditation service, and they still don't feel 100% well. So what we're doing is looking at you more holistically, allowing you to come in for a 30-minute personal assessment to really nail down what is the path that you need to take. Some people just want to focus on changing their careers. So we have life coaches there to help them with that. But what we're doing is implementing personal assessments, and we're also doing phone consultations, because at the Journey to Wholeness Center, we're located in Oakland, Illinois, but we do know that a lot of times people are not comfortable sharing their experiences, their issues, their wellness concerns face to face with people, and they feel a little bit more protected over the phone. So we're also giving people the ability to do those consultations over the phone. So I strongly suggest, if you're interested in any of our services, and we're also in January doing a bunch of amazing workshops, things like emotional eating, focusing on detoxifying the body. We're doing a workshop on the alkaline diet. So things to kind of jumpstart those goals and those intentions that we talked about at the beginning of the show. So we're doing a lot of workshops in January. So I strongly suggest that right now you log onto our website, journeytowholeness.org, and get some of that information, or you can call us 708-634-3664 and let us help you with providing you with the tools, the techniques, and the guidance that you need to jumpstart your 2017 goals and objectives. So thanks.
Awesome.
So thank you all for listening. The first show at IntellectualRadio.com. Thank you to Bab Savage for my music. She's coming on in February, and we're probably going to be dancing in here. I think I'm going to have a party to have her come in and do this live for me when she comes in. I want you to get mortified, get the lipstick Runway Red, put in YDB, get 25% off of there. And you know what? I want to see you next week, Sunday, 2 o'clock, same place, same time at IntellectualRadio.com.
In the rain, running rivers through the summer snow, you keep me satisfied. I can't complain, I wouldn't know where to start, no. It's good inside. Hot apple pie, I'm your ice cream, let me melt for you. You're the sweetest thing to dip in my